Alright, so today we continue with our class Kitzur Shulchan Aruch, and we start with the Sefer Chaim. And today's topic, Loshon Hora, a definition. Loshon Hora, literally evil talk, is defined an information which is either derogatory or potentially harmful. Okay, to another individual. So it's a bad, negative information. So we say that he's slow, she's slow, right? Or it's derogatory and harmful, meaning that this person is going to lose his job, for example. The derogatory statements about someone is Loshon Hora, even if it is definitely not cause a person any harm, right? So any negative information. So if we say that somebody is slow, somebody is stupid, okay, I'm not. I don't have any business with that person. Do I care that he is stupid or not, or he is slow or not? But still, it is forbidden. To focus on a shortcomings of another person itself is wrong. A statement that could potentially bring harm to someone, be it financial, physical, or psychological, or otherwise, is Loshon Hora. So one more time, financial, meaning the person is going to lose a job, or he's going to lose a business, or right, physical, meaning that maybe somebody is going to attack him, right? Maybe, right? Psychological, maybe he's because of whatever we say, he's going to lose his shiur, his match, right? Okay. Or otherwise is Loshon Hora, even the information is not negative, right? So we said maybe he's lazy. So one brother would say, one person say, yeah, in our family we're all lazy, right? Maybe for him it's not negative. Maybe many people in this generation is lazy, but this girl would hear, what, you lazy? Maybe I should not marry this guy. It should be noted that the term Loshon Hora refers even to the statements which are derogatory or harmful. Even if true statements, right, true statement, which are derogatory or harmful. Negative statements that are untrue or inaccurate, a term is Chatzaras Shemra, slander. That's a different story. So Loshon Hora is only statements that are true. Okay, we stop here. So we continue our subject. We're on Siman Shulchan Aruch, Kitzur Shulchan Aruch, Siman 46, and we are now subject, very different subject, very interesting. Right? Laws of forbidden foods. And we left off on halacha number 12. So it says. So the last thing we said, the last thing that we discussed, all of these cheeses. Right, cheese, soft cheese and hard cheese, and we said what is the difference. And we said after the hard cheese, one must wait for 6 hours. Okay, so continue. One who ate cheese and wishes to eat meat afterwards must remove from the table any remnants of the bread that he ate with the cheese. Additionally, it's prohibition to eat cheese on a tablecloth upon which meat was eaten, and likewise the reverse, eating meat on a daily tablecloth is forbidden.
Sorry, Rabbi, just a question. Which book is this again that we're doing?
This is Kitzur Shulchan Aruch, Volume 2.
Okay.
Okay, but yeah, on Thursday it's just coincidental that we started this in this book, and it's going to be, but it's here is only, as I said last time, it's a summary of the summary, even though it's very long. This Siman is very long, but it's summary of the summary. But this is the classic definition, and on Thursday we're going to learn more practical, more modern applications. But the approach is the same. Okay, so we said the person must have two different tablecloths. It is also prohibited to cut with a meat knife and the bread that one intends to eat for cheese. Or likewise, the reverse is prohibited. So I'm going to read without any commentaries. Then we go back and we're going to do the commentaries and explain each line. However, in time of pressing it, such as when one is on a road and there is no other knife, he is permitted to cut bread with a meat knife, and that is clean and has been white extremely well, even if he wishes to eat the bread with cheese. And likewise, the reverse, to cut bread with a clean daily knife in order to eat the bread with meat is permitted. Okay, so let's go from the beginning and we're going to explain. Any questions, you can stop me anytime. So from the beginning, one who ate cheese and wished to eat meat afterwards, right, must remove the tablecloth. So first says, did we say about it? 1 second. So did we discuss it? I don't remember if we discussed if two people eat at the same table. Maybe yes, maybe. Yeah. So we discussed not the last time. I think that the time before that. So we said if two people are eating together, one is at the same table, one is eating meat and one is eating dairy. It should be some kind of separation, right, between them. Some separation, some kind of sign that they would know that something different. So he's eating meat, I'm eating dairy. So of course, we are acquainted somehow that we should not take the food from each other plate, right? That was the reason. And plus, we said some people would have a different placemats on their table, different color, different tablecloth. So to indicate, to indicate, meaning to ourselves that what I'm eating is actually dairy. And it's actually makes sense if you think about it, like. If you eat meat and some crumbs are going to be left on a tablecloth, and then you eat dairy and you get these crumbs for whatever it happens, right? And you get into your plate, even though it's dry, it's not food, does not make any difference. So you would be able you would eat meat and milk together, right? That's why it's proper to have two separate tablecloths. One for milk and one for meat. Okay. So one more time, one who ate cheese and wishes to eat meat afterwards, commenter, at another meal, as described in preceding Sefer. Right. So even though we said technically, a person can do it in the same meal, meaning if they were eating dairy. So now they have to just rinse their mouth and drink and eat something hard, like we said, bread or something like chewy, and drink some liquid, right? And you are able to eat meat. There is no problem, right? Right. There is no problem, but it's better to change, and it's proper to change the tablecloth as well. Right, so he said one must remove from the table any remnants of bread that he ate with cheese. So why is that? Maybe he was biting the from this bread, right? And there is some residue of cheese is left on the bread, so it's not proper. Okay, it's not only proper, but if he's going to eat this piece of bread with the meat, is going to be eating meat and cheese together, which is prohibited. Okay, that's why we change bread and we change tablecloth. Commentary. As mentioned in CF7, bread is left over from dairy meat may not be eaten with a meat meal. The bread remnants must be removed from the table. Or if for example, if you have a Parve bread and you can eat with milk in meat, right, separately, so you just cut pieces and leave whatever you're planning to eat with your dairy meal on the table, and put the rest in aside for a meat meal, there is no problem. Okay, but just keep it separate. Okay, continue. Additionally, it is prohibited to eat cheese on a tablecloth upon which the meat was eaten. So, because we be concerned about this little crumbs of food that can be found on a tablecloth, that they're going to get into your food. And likewise, the reverse, eating the meat and dairy at tablecloth is prohibited. So it doesn't matter. I mean, that's the idea. It's even though just after the fact, we have to understand. So it's all rabbinical stringencies. We understand that this food that is I ate like 3 days ago, let's say, and it has the crumbs and some of them like meaty crumbs. It's not food any longer. I mean, right? So it's not going to be considered like eating meat and milk together, but rabbinically, it's proper to change, as he even say, must change the tablecloth. It is also prohibited to cut with a meat knife the bread that one intends to eat with cheese. Right. So meat knife, meaning what? That person was cutting meat while it's hot. So if it's cold, it's more lenient, but when it's hot, that would be the problem. Okay. And likewise, likewise, the reverse is prohibited. Meaning, with a milk knife, you cut bread that you're planning to eat with the meat. So I would say that like in our days, it's all like in all the days, yeah, it was only one knife or two knives. It was very difficult life. But today, when all of these things not so expensive, so just have a separate knife. So for example, in our house we have separate knife just for bread. That's it. So you will be able to eat it with milk and meat or meat, whatever you want. So it's knife is always Parve. So it's also proper, as we said last time or time before that, to have 3 sets of dishes, right? Even if it's you can have 2, but if possible to have 3, and same is knife. So you have milk knife, so meat knife. Of course, you for milk you would need maybe 1 or 2 knives. For meat more, right? You have to cut meat, prepare. And some like 1 or 2 or 3 Parve knives. Okay, that would be the ideal situation. And cut all of the Parve food only with a Parve knife. Parve means not meat and not milk. Okay. So Kitzur continues. So to cut the bread, we're talking about bread, right? To cut the bread with a milk knife, right? If you planning to eat it with meat and or opposite is prohibited, even if the knife is clean, right? So commentary, it is obviously prohibited if knife to cut the cheese itself with a meat knife, and vice versa. Of course, we don't switch. Mm-hmm. Okay, so continue. However, if in a time of pressing need, such as when one is on a road and he has no other knife, he is permitted to cut bread with meat knife. So after the fact, as we said, it's all of these are stringencies, but our sages added the stringency because why? Because this prohibition of eating meat and milk together is biblical, right? So we have to. So our sages were authorized by HaShem to create all of the like fences around this biblical halacha, right? So we would not even come close. So if I never cut bread with a milk knife, so there is no problem. I mean, I'm not going to eat milk and meat together. So like always be cognizant of what we're doing. Okay. Right. So, but after the fact, since person in this difficult situation, that's the only knife he has, right? What he's supposed to do. So they say, okay, so and you're permitted, right? He is permitted to cut bread with a meat knife, right? Meat knife that is clean and has been wiped extremely. So of course it's washed, wiped, so there is no residue. So the problem is, especially in olden days, they did not have all of the the dishwash detergent, right? So how they would wash the dishes with the water. So water, even warm water, it's not so good to remove the fat, right? If so, this fat from the meat could have, and even from the cheese, from a fatty cheese, could stuck to the knife, right? So, but even if you wash like that, if you wipe it nice, like in a piece of the cloth, so it actually helps. That's what they say. So that is been clean and has been wiped extremely well. Even if he wishes to eat the bread with cheese. So after the fact, we said no problem. And likewise the reverse. To cut the bread with a clean daily knife, in order to eat bread with the meat is permitted. So let's see the commentary and we're going to explain. Even if the knife is clean, and even in a type of pressing need, it is still forbidden to cut cheese itself with a meat knife, and vice versa. So I would say just a lenient, but up to the point. So if it's a meat knife, you're not allowed to cut cheese. Even we say it's a clean knife, and the cheese is cold, and right, and the knife was staying there for 24 hours, right? So we still don't do it. Okay. Any questions on what we said? We'll continue.
So,
Yeah, go ahead.
does that go the same for fish and parve? We have to have a separate knife for that if we're cutting like fillets of fish or something?
For fish?
Yes. Or can we use either or meat or a dairy knife?
Okay, all right. So that's a very good question. I would say it's proper to use a Parve knife. If you have Parve knife, so that would be proper to use. Because look, if the issue is if you clean this fish with a meat knife, and then you want to eat fish with cheese, that would be a problem. So in our days, so belong in Kitzur that was written some years ago, but we have to be. But today, when these knives, especially if you live in the States, in Canada, in all of these Western countries, they're so cheap. So I'm not. So we just buy a new set. I give you an example. Many years ago, some neighbors asked to borrow knives, like for I don't remember for what. So and we had the whole set, and we gave them 2 knives, like neighbors, let them have it. And then they want to return. We said no, keep it. We have more. Oh, we did not have more. So we went to Macy's, right? And I wanted to buy 1 knife, right? And I saw if you pay like 25% more, 30% more, it's ridiculous price. You get the set of 10 knives. It's unbelievable, like crazy. Like, so we bought the whole set. Right, so today that does not make sense to do everything with the same knife. Of course, when you're on the road, it's a different story. But technically, it's proper to have 3 sets of knives. And I would say we have 4. One for fish separate. Is it necessary? No. But Kabbalistically, that's what they say. It's Kabbalistically, and some cooks also, like some chefs, they also suggest to cut. Like my cousin, she's a chef, and she has all of this. She said, I never fry like a parve and like latkes, let's say, and the fish on the same frying pan. That's like totally separate, because she does not care about kosher so much. It's about the taste, and yeah, but still it's there's something to it. Okay. Any other questions? Okay, so if you cannot afford that, that's a different story. But if you can, that's the blessing of this generation that the things are so cheap. Okay. Okay, so halacha number 13. If one cut onions or some other sharp food item with a meat knife and put onions or other foods into daily dish, or one did the reverse, there is he cut sharp food with a daily knife and added to meat dish, he must inquire halakhic authorities regarding the status of food, the pot in which it was cooked, and the utensil in which it was served. So we're going to see the commentary, but of course, I mean, it's very complicated thing, because through the sharp food, the taste travel even from a clean knife. You have perfectly clean knife, you wash it with a soap and stuff like that, and it was there for 24 hours. And could you mute your microphone, please? Unless you want to talk. Thank you, sorry. Okay, so the taste is transferred through this sharp foods. So what is sharp food? I would say maybe this radish would be right, for sure. Onions, for sure. Garlic. What else? Okay, well, maybe a few more, right? Sharp foods. So one more time from the beginning with commentary, and we're going to explain. Okay, here we go. He gives the list. Okay, if one cut onions or some other sharp food item with the meat knife. So commentary says sharp food include, but not limited to, garlic, radish, okay, that's obvious, fresh and pickled olives, lemon, salty herring, and horseradish. So at least those ones. Now I'm going to read again. Garlic, radish. I'm not sure why he's not saying onions, but onions, okay. Fresh pickled olives, lemon, salty herring, and horseradish. A sharp food has a great capacity that a blunt food to extract flavor from utensil. So like extract meaning it absorb like flavor that from a clean knife. You understand? That's the thing. Thus, when cut with a meat knife, even one that is not ben yama, it was not used for 24 hours. It may have absorbed the meat flavor. So this ben yama or not ben yama thing is very important, as we mentioned every time, right? That there is condition. So this not ben yama, meaning that it's more than 24 hours. More than 24 hours. So according to halacha, most likely that the taste that was absorbed into this utensil is going to spoil. Right? Of course, we're talking about clean utensil. If utensil is not clean, if somebody like did not clean the pot after soup, of course it's going to, the residue is going to stay. Right? But we're talking about clean utensil and 24 hours. So even in this, so a person washed it with a soap, as we said. Anyway, these sharp foods would extract the flavor.
Rabbi, sorry, I have a question about it. When it comes to these, there's often a statement that salt leads to the transfer of taste between meat and anything, right? So if, let's say, somebody cuts salty meat like a salami or something like that, salty meat or even salty pickles or anything, because I've read somewhere that if you have meat and dairy or even meat and parve that are salted, it takes only 6 to 18 minutes for the taste to be transferred. So does it work also with knives?
Knives, no. Salt has another effect. I understand what you're saying, and we're going to discuss it on our class on Thursday, because it's a little deeper topic.
Yep.
But here we're talking about sharp foods only. It's not salt. But so one of the things about salt, that it actually cooks the food. So that's why it is a penetrating the food itself. That's the thing, right? So other foods, you just put one on top of the other, nothing happens. But with the salty fish, with the salty foods, they actually, that's how they mix. Okay, very interesting. Okay, so any other questions? Okay, so just remember this concept: 24 hours. Below 24 hours, for sure, the taste is there in a knife, in a spoon, in whatever, and it's would create more issues. But more than 24 hours, less issues. So we're going to use it this approach many times in all of the situation when we would need to decide what to do. So if I have soup, right, and I stirred it with a dairy spoon, like meat soup with a dairy spoon. So all of these things are going to come into play. Okay. So one more time, the whole sentence. If one cut onions or some other sharp foods, onions, it say explicitly, and he just added other foods in the list. Okay, sharp food. With the meat knife and put the onions or the sharp food into dairy dish, right? That's or one did the reverse. Okay, meaning there is to cut sharp food with a dairy knife and add it to the meat dish. He must inquire halakhic authorities regarding the status of the food. The food, the pot in which it was cooked, and the utensils in which it was served. So we're going to see the commentary now, but one more advantage to have this extra set of knives, even one knife. I don't know, but women usually like many knives. Right, not women, the people who cook, right? So they like longer, shorter. This is with the teeth, without teeth, like the different for carving, for this, for that, right? So and it's very proper to have this Parve knives for vegetables, at least at least for onions and garlic and radish and all other things. So it's always proper to cut all of the vegetables with a Parve knife. So why I say all, because if you know that this is the knife for the vegetables, so for sure you're not going to and not only for onions or for garlic. So you every time you need to cut vegetable, including onions, you're going to cut with this Parve knife. That's, I guess, the formula to remember to simplify our life, to make it simpler, right? Otherwise, it is a problem. So in your mind, whatever dish you do, right? You made it's 100%. It's 100% Parve, but it's not. If you cut it with a meat knife or a milk knife, it's not exactly Parve. Okay. Continue commentary. Various factors can influence the law in this situation. Among these is how sharp the food was. Very interesting. Then the knife was last used, so as we said, this 24 hours or less, and whether the knife was clean. Right, so minimum three conditions. Due to the intricacy of the laws involved, one must consult halakhic authorities. So when if you're going to come to Rabbi and start he was going to ask you all of these questions. That is the standard questions what we ask, right? And so don't jump to any conclusion. Some people, like one of my students, were like his wife was so strict. She was like almost like ready to throw many things, right? Like because he was trying. She was sick and. He was trying to help, and he did whatever he did. So after she get well, she wanted to throw many things. So we were able to kosher it. After the fact, I mean, there was no problem. Some things had to be kosher, and some things they did not have to be kosher. So, but at least in this class, in the kosher kitchen, we'll try to give you the general idea and like approach to each situation, how at least ask the questions and how like foresee these coming up issues. like this one, like cut onions with a meat knife. Absolutely not, right? Unless it's a meat dish and it's a meat knife, and that's what you always do. Okay, no problem. And you're going to cut the whole knife, nothing, knife, or the whole onion. Nothing is going to be left. That's okay. It's possible, but preferable one more time to use Parve knife. Number 14. One who makes a meat dish with almond milk must place almonds in it, because it is necessary to avoid appearance of the wrongdoing. Okay, so we're going to read what it says here. So many people drink almond milk, and not drink, but they drink also, but eat cereal, for example, right? So like, because I'm talking about nowadays, because it's more calcium, and it's more healthy, like less cholesterol, less this and that. So, but if you check, mostly unless it is a Jewish made, right, or like only some companies. Don't ask me right now which ones, but for sure I saw it in a kosher supermarkets. They say that it's Parve, but otherwise it is if you check, it's OUD. So it says absolutely there is no milk. It says made from almonds, none dairy, none this, none that, but it would say OUD. So basically they say OUD because it is a process on the dairy equipment. So right, even though like as I'm not sure if I told you guys. So one time somebody asked me many years ago, and I called OU and I spoke to one of the representatives, and they explained a very interesting thing. So he said, as of right now, so he checked the brand that I was asking about, and he said that brand. So he said from this day, from this day that I called until the next 30 days, maybe it was in the beginning of the month, I don't remember, it is a Parve. So, but check with us in the next 30 days. Yeah, you understand? So even though it says OUD, dairy, D for dairy, it is a Parve, but the manufacturer can change the things. And for example, they use this line to produce this almond milk, I don't know, 5 hours a day, but they don't need so much almond milk, and they would use this same processing line for other foods, right? And they might have dairy in it, right? So that's the company have to give them advance notice, 30 days. I think that's what this 30 days came from. So almonds milk, so it looks like exactly as milk, right? So and of course it is a Parve, right? If you prepare yourself, for example, but it could be a problem when other people see it. And the solution is, as author is saying, right, to put some almonds next to it, to show that it is an almond. As same approach as we said about fish. If somebody, for whatever reason, don't ask me why, and like when somebody wants to drink the fish blood, like from a big fish, you have blood, and he has I don't know, quarter cup of blood of this, and he wants to drink, so he has to put like fish, skeleton of fish, some piece of fish like next to his cup, so to show that this blood it came actually from this fish, which is permissible, right? So because other people think that you're doing something wrong, and same as we said yesterday, we had a question about this vegetable meat, right? This meatless meat, whatever it's called, from soy and other vegetables. Okay, so it is a 100% veggie, 100% Parve. But if you fry it like a burger, it looks exactly like meat. So if you're going to drink it with milk, it will go like people would see you like doing something wrong. So don't do it. Even though technically there is no problem. There is no problem whatsoever, because this burger, veggie burger, is 100% parve. There's none. It has nothing to do with meat, right? But for people from outside, they would not know. Okay, so we have to. It's called mari sign, the way the eye perceives things. Okay, commentary. Almond milk is non-dairy and thus may be consumed with meat. So okay, so in my family we use this almond milk for what is it, for to eat with cereal, right? So we consider it as dairy. So not to mix up, not to be like on maybe yes, maybe no. We will always consider it as dairy. That's it. It's a simple approach, and that's it. However, since the observer will not recognize it is almond milk, so is it like it's not as white, or the brand that we use, it's not as white, but unless you know like the difference, unless the 2 cups are together, one is real milk and one is almond milk, most people would not tell the difference, right? And we will not recognize it as almond milk, and may suspect a person mixing milk and meat, right? One must place some almonds in the milk to indicate that it is a non-dairy almonds product. Okay, so if you want to do that, no problem. So put some almonds so people see, but only the way I see it, only people who are next to you will see the almonds. Okay, but other like people from further away would not see. This applies not only when the meat is cooked in almond milk, but also when it is cooked by itself and served with almond milk. So it doesn't matter like if it was cooked like that, not cooked like that. So even if you see something white in your with your meat, so you would suspect that it's maybe milk. The same applies to any other form of non-dairy milk. When offered at the meal meat, there must be indication that it is a non-dairy product. It should be noted that so before we continue. So I'm not sure how many years ago. I would say maybe 25, 30 years ago, like when they just came out with non-dairy creamer. So today, I mean, you have in all of the kosher supermarket non-dairy creamer. Okay, I'm not sure from what they make it, but it's a different story. That doesn't matter from what they make it, right? So but in 25 to 30 years ago, it was like a new stuff. So for example, you have this meal with meat, right? The whole suda, and then you decided then to drink coffee, and your coffee is white, meaning you added some creamer, so people would not understand. So our sages say, make sure that you have a package, this package, the can or in whatever package this powder comes from this creamer, part of creamer, you put it next to your cup. So everybody will understand that you're not drinking this coffee with milk. So today is a different world. Today everybody knows that there is a part of creamer, and today everybody knows there is a part of ice cream, but not so. I'm not sure when they came out with a part of ice cream. I'm not sure. Maybe the same time, maybe 20, 25 years ago. Not somehow I think that's when they came out, right? So back then, if you would eat ice cream after the meal, right? So that would be crazy. But today it's normal to have a part of ice cream. Okay, continue. It should be noted that whenever the sages imposed a restriction in order to avoid perception of a wrongdoing, that restriction applies even when nobody is present to observe the act, as we said yesterday. Thus, the preceding rules apply even the meal eaten in privacy. So this, even though if you drink this almond milk with your meatballs, with your chicken, right? In your privacy of your house, there is technically there is no problem. But the thing is, so I would just say a little different from the way they say. People get used to, and one day you're going to forget, and you're going to do it in public, in front of your guests, or like even if you going to do it by yourself, and then guess what? Somebody rings the doorbell, and somebody comes, somebody that you did not expect, and somebody comes to the kitchen and look at your dinner table and say, "What? That's what you eat? You understand?" So that's you can put yourself in a very not good situation, to say it mildly. Any questions on what we said? Okay, so my approach, and what I advise others, don't like devise all the like different situation. Like just follow one approach, and you're never going to be wrong. One approach, it's easy to remember. So as we said, all vegetables cut with a Parve knife. Okay, so don't do don't do even privately this almond milk with meat. Okay. Continue. Or if for example, if you get this almond milk and people do not know, so explain to them. And even people do not ask us, especially people who are new to Kashrus. They would say, yeah, we saw in the house of this religious couple. Yeah, they drank milk with meat. There is no problem, right? What do you mean no problem, right? So of course they do not know. They don't know what to ask. So you are obligated to explain. Number 15. When dairy utensils is accidentally used for meat, here we go, or vice versa, it is often become unfit for use since it absorbs both dairy and meat flavor. One can rectify the utensil by purging its absorbed flavor through the process of koshering, which is described in Siman 116. Okay, I guess 116 is the laws of Basar. That's what I guess. Okay, here Kitzur discusses whether koshering may be used to change the ordinary dairy utensils to meat use and vice versa. So we have to remind ourselves again, like in olden days, there were like to buy extra plate, it was a big deal. You understand? So many times people would like force to kosher utensil from meat to dairy, and not only pots and knives and forks and spoons and other things. And that's the approach that we actually use for Pesach. So if somebody wants to kosher their kitchen, they would use this approach. I'm not sure how deep we're going to go in this book in it, but and same if you use it for if a person use it for non-kosher food or for a kosher food by a different type, right? So that's our subject here. So the approach, the koshering procedure is exactly the same in all of these three different scenarios that we just said. Exactly the same. The custom is not to purge dairy utensil of dairy taste. It absorbed as so as to use for it with meat, or to do the reverse. There is a purge the meat utensil for use of dairy. See Maget Abraham 109 509 Sif 11 and Machatzitz HaShekel. So let me read the commentary and we're going to explain. However, if one is kosher utensil so as to use them for Pesach, he may at the same time change the designation from meat to dairy and vice versa. See Mishnah Brura for 5111, citing Tevu Teshuvas Chassam Sefer, Yoredea, paragraph 110. Okay. So as we said, it does not matter what you did, whether you ate non-kosher food or somebody else used your utensil for non-kosher foods, and it's possible, like for example, somebody have a cleaning lady, right, or like a home attendant one of the person that I learned been learning for many years. So he had his mother-in-law living with them, elderly person, and they had a home attendant who would come for, I don't know, 6-8 hours every day. And this lady, even though they ask you, just open the refrigerator, take whatever you want. It's like free. Like, please take whatever you want. He's a microwave, so it was like Parve and meat refrigerator. They had dairy refrigerator separate. So they say take whatever you want. So this lady, despite of this, most of the time she would take their food, but sometimes she would like to bring these things from McDonald's and eat her own burger. I mean, so they had many issues like with the dishes. Yeah, understand? So they end up just removing all of the dishes for many years until his mother-in-law was alive, right? And they use plastic dishes, paper dishes, because because of this lady. It was impossible. She would use mix everything around. Even they ask her. That's a crazy story, I think. Okay, so Kitzur said, customary not to kosher dairy to use for meat and meat to use the dairy, especially plates, especially all these things, right? But the commentators say if you're going to kosher for Pesach, that's a different story. So now you make it basically Parve, right? So why do you need to kosher for Pesach, right? Because on Pesach we're not allowed to eat chometz, leavened bread. So like all of the bread, all of the pastas, all of these cookies, all of the things, right? Some vinegar, also a problem, right? If it was made from wheat. So we have to kosher. So if somebody wants to use the same utensil, they have to kosher them. And while you kosher, for example, this knife was used for meat, so I can use it after it became parve, after kosher, so I can use for whatever I want, for meat or for milk. But that our approach is, our custom is, just don't do it. Don't kosher any utensils for Pesach. Just buy new ones. They're so cheap, it's unbelievable, very cheap. So just have a special separate utensil for Pesach, and for usually Pesach it's only like not usually, but Pesach it's only 8 days, so it's not so long. So most of the time, for example, in my family we don't have kosher utensil for daily. We don't. We just use paper plates if we decided to eat daily. Okay, I mean that's still too much bother, too much dishes. But for meat and parve, yeah, we have a set, and that's it. And plus, like, it's only for 8 days. How many pots do you need? 3 pots, frying pans, maybe 2 pans. That's it. You don't need much. Not like it's only for a few days. A few days, maybe in 1 week, and that's it. Okay. Continue, number 16. Kitzur now returns to the rules in ensuring that the kosher status of food entrusted to the one who does not observe these laws. Okay, here we go. So one more time, Kitzur now turns to the rules of ensuring the kosher status of food entrusted to one who does not observe these laws. So we're not talking about, I guess, non-Jew. We're talking about Jew, right? Actually, both of them. Okay, let's see. Wine, meat, or piece of fish that does not have identifying characteristics that one deposits or sends for delivery with the hand of an idolater, and certainly in the hand of a Jew who is suspect of being lax in observance of the dietary laws, requires 2 identifying seals in order to be permitted. However, for cooked wine, and similar for the wine vinegar, or for a milk, bread, or cheese, that entrusted to an idolater or a suspect Jew, a single seal is sufficient. So let's do from the beginning, and we're going to explain everything that it says here, right? So we have to be very careful. So all food is kosher now, but if you entrust to wrong people, so after the fact, you're not allowed to eat it. It's very interesting. So we must know all of this. So one more time: wine, meat, and piece of fish. So why wine and meat? So we're talking about expensive food, right? So we're not suspect that this non-Jew or this not observant Jews is going to substitute our mashed potato. Most likely not. Too much bother, and it's not worth it. But meat, when he sees the price on a kosher meat, so that's he might be tempted to exchange it. So he would think that something is like crazy. So I give you one example. So we went shopping, and my wife showed me like piece of meat. I said, "What is it?" Like a small piece, and it was $69 a pound. $69 a pound. I said, "Who would buy this meat?" But looks like, I mean, if it's there were several pieces, so I think people buy. I'm not sure what part of the cow is it, but that's crazy. People buy. So this non-Jew would see, okay, I can substitute this piece of meat. Okay, and try it. Same as wine, right? And fish. So one more time. Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry, Rabbi. Yeah, I have a question. Would that also apply to cheese sometimes? Kosher cheese, there's a concept of guinat akum.
No, one, stop. So we're not talking about cooking of a non-Jew. That's a separate issue. We don't get to it. We're talking about cooked food, or even raw food that you want to send for example, you have like kosher Chinese food, right? So and they do delivery. So you call them, you order and deliver. Of course, there is no Jew that delivers. Usually it's a Chinese person who delivers, right? So you have to they have a special tape. So when you pay, you see on the register they have special tape, and they tape the container itself, and then they tape the bag. So they have the bag from their own store, and they put these two seals always. So they actually staple, put the seal, and they put in the bag, and then they seal the bag also.
No, sorry, I wasn't talking about bishul, but gavinat akum, like about the cheese. The cheese, sometimes you could have an issue with the kosher and non-kosher cheese. What about that?
So yeah.
If you're spending, because sometimes, a lot of times, kosher dairy is also more expensive, and sometimes there could be a substitution because you never know what it looks like.
Exactly. So I mean, if you look at kosher cheese, non-kosher cheese, I mean, I don't think anybody would tell the difference. Exactly, right? So actually, believe it or not, we discussed it last time. All of these non-kosher cheeses and how they are produced, and they take the enzyme from the stomach of the animal, and of course they're not properly slaughtered. So for us, it's absolutely forbidden. I would say that it would apply to all of the situations. So you actually brought a good point. So usually halacha applies, usually halacha discussed, in Kitzur and other places, about meat. Right, and wine is a separate story. Okay, but meat, let's simplify the case. The meat, but I would say it should apply to all of the expensive food that would this person would be tempted to substitute. Okay, kosher cheese costs, I don't know, like two times more. But very interesting, in the place where I live, I buy vegetables next to me, like market, Turkish market, right? They have and they have halal meat. So this halal meat cost, I'm not sure, it's cost more than chicken, at least costs more than kosher chicken. I'm not sure why. There is no reason. I mean, maybe it's only this local store. Maybe I don't know. But meat the same price. I'm not sure why would they charge so much money for meat. For us, it's garbage. But same as regular, not 70 pound whatever we saw. So, but regular meat, like same price as we would pay.
Yeah. No, in general, I've always found kosher meat to be quite affordable. I mean, whenever you have a proper, shkita, I mean, a lot of people complain about it, but it's very affordable. Usually, that's why I mentioned that about dairy. Usually now, for whatever reason, kosher dairy has become very expensive. If you want to buy, let's say, any cheese that they have Chalav Israel, for example, it could be, like a small piece of, I don't know, just cheese spread could be $12. Talking about Canadian dollars, of course. But that's where I think I see the main difference that could happen. But with kosher meat, it's actually I don't know why people complain so much about it. Kosher meat is very affordable these days.
I think it depends where you live. So where I live, for example, there is a big competition, and they just opened like almost in my neighborhood, on the border of my neighborhood, because other like Syrian Jews are start moving because of where they used to live. It's like too much. They bought Baruch HaShem all the whole neighborhood, and they cannot contain everybody. So they start moving like all of this community closer to where I live. Baruch Hashem, so they opened a huge supermarket and another supermarket. So these are like the most supermarkets. They drop the prices. You understand? On dairy, and so we buy like in that supermarket we buy cheese $5 a pound. $5 a pound.
Wow.
It's it's very good place for like Halaf Israel, of course. Halaf Israel $5 a pound, but okay. Very interesting. All right, so let's continue. So one more time the whole sentence. Wine, meat, and piece of fish that does not have identifying characteristics. So meaning, so maybe he's going to substitute to non-kosher fish that one deposits with or sends for delivery in the hand of an idolater, meaning a non-Jew, and certainly in the hand of a Jew who is suspect of being lax in observance of the dietary laws. So let's see who is this guy. Okay, they say Sirima. Okay, you're there. Okay, forget it. Continue. Requires two identifying seals in order to be permitted. So meaning that one seal he would. So I remember learning this halacha. So. Shulchan Aruch says that one seal he may be tempered with, but two seals it's too much. So basically, our sages knew the psyche of a person. So one seal, I would do it, but two it's too much. It's very interesting. So commentaries say the sages were concerned that the idolater or a suspect Jew. So as we said in many things, a Jew who is not Shomer Shabbos, who is not observant of the mitzvah, he considered as idolatry. The same thing. We suspect both of them. Even there are many leniencies for the non-observant Jew when he cooks, but still, right? Okay. Or a suspect Jew might desire the food entrusted to him, right? Because the stolen food is sweeter, right? The stolen water is always sweeter, and he might take it and replace it with a similar non-kosher item. They therefore prohibited consumption of any food left in the care of idolater or a suspect Jew, unless it is enclosed in a sealed wrappings that were wrappings that leaves evidence in case of the tempered. So meaning like special, you have special like a nut or special like a piece of like today's tape like with a company logo. It would be like that's what they use. Of course, that is non-Jew. He can steal piece of the tape, of course, but we like the halacha as the Talmud says up to here. So there are many crazy people. So you did whatever halacha requires you. You saw two seals. That's enough. But he could get there when nobody's looking. With guy from the register went to the restroom, so he can cut a piece of the tape, of course. But that's too much. They therefore prohibited consumption of any food left in the care of idolater or suspect Jew, unless it was enclosed in seal and wrap that leaves evidence in the case of tampering. This pertains to cases in which the non-kosher replacement item would be forbidden rabbinically, right? For rabbinically. With respect to the foods that are prohibited biblically, such as meat or fish, the sages were even more cautious and required that the food be enclosed in double-sealed wrappings. Right, so that's why if you go to the kosher restaurant, so they would lock refrigerator where the meat is, and the key only Jew would have a key. That's it. Very simple. So okay, I'm going to skip the references. The sages also required double seal on wine, and that's what we have. We have the cork itself in one seal, and then plastic on top, double seal. Even though the prohibition of wine would be only rabbinic, because we were especially concerned that idolater might desire the wine to use for idolatrous libations. So, and this double seal is also for a cooked wine. It's not only for not cooked, it's only for a cooked wine, also for a cooked wine. Continue. However, however, for cooked wine, and similarly for wine vinegar, or milk, or bread, the cheese, that is entrusted in a case of idolater or suspect Jew, a single seal is sufficient. So sometimes this is sufficient. I would explain what it means. So if you buy this, the most popular here grape juice is Kedem. I mean the tastiest one, right? The Kedem juice, and it has only one seal. So it's of course ultra Orthodox people, absolutely kosher. So according to this halacha, there is no problem. They have only one seal, which is what? Which is the cup right on top. There's no plastic around. But the wine they do with a plastic, even though they're not obligated, but does not make any difference. 26 commentary. In these cases, a non-kosher replacement food would be prohibited only by rabbinic law. Meaning, this milk, of course, it's only by rabbinic law. And bread, most likely there is nothing wrong with the bread, right? And cheese is a little different story. Okay, so we can stop here. Any questions on any subject? Go ahead, if you have. Do we have anything on WhatsApp? Can somebody check, please? Okay. Yeah, go ahead, Israel. Go ahead. What is it? Go ahead.
I have a doubt because of the snacks. What if we eat less than a kasai in separate time frame? Meaning first we eat 20 grams and we wait like 15 minutes, and again we eat 20 grams. So we say blessing or not?
Blessing before we always say, but blessing after in this case you never say. So and the explanation is because eating less than kezais is not considered to be eaten halachically, and that's what we always advise people who like very weak, right? But they want to fast, for example, on Tisha B'Av, on they want to fast on Yom Kippur, but they're sick. So doctors say you better not to fast, you better eat. So but person feels that he wants or she wants to fast, there is no problem. So we ask them. So start with eating, as you said, not to 20 yet, let's say even 25 grams, right? Let's add a few, and every 9 minutes. So if it's okay with you, if you feel normal, not not too weak, so there is no problem. So it's not considered to be eaten. You understand? But blessing, and after blessing, since it's not eaten, you don't say blessing after, but blessing before you say.
So blessing, first blessing is on any amount?
Yes. So for example, I was saying to a kid, so the kid was preparing tea, right? And he put some preserve into his cups and like in the cup, and we wanted to put hot water. I might make a tea, whatever, right? This raspberry preserve, and he was about to lick the spoon. The spoon, right? I said, no, stop. I told him, stop. You have to say the blessing, right? Because why? Because you derive the benefit. Your palate derive pleasure from this, even the minute amount doesn't matter. So he said the blessing, absolutely.
So how if it is not consider eating, how we are, it's mandatory to say first blessing?
No, but it is eating. Okay, so eating. No, you okay? So I understand the confusion. So in halachically, eating means that your palate, right? Your mouth enjoys the taste. That's considered to be eaten in regards to before blessing, but in regards to after blessing. So as we learn the halachas of Birchas Hamazon, so HaShem said that when you're going to eat and you're going to be satiated. So our sages said if you eat less than kizayis, you're not going to. Most of the people not going to get satiated from less than kizayis. You understand? So that's why there is no blessing, because there is no satiation.
So in case of this rice snack, I feel even if I eat one snack, I think I must say the first blessing.
Yes, yeah. First blessing you always say, absolutely always. As I gave this example, the boy was wanted to lick the spoon clean. It was a clean spoon. There was no preserve, but it was taste of these preserves. Yeah, you understand? Just for the taste, that's it. Some residue. So for this, absolutely, you have to say the blessing. But for the purposes of eating, like for the purposes of saying before blessing, it is considered to be halachically eating. Whatever, doesn't matter what amount. But after the blessing, so consider only for if you ate kizayis or drank revis. Revis we said also like minimum 86 grams or 2.9 ounces or something. Okay. Got it clear?
Yes, thank you.
Okay. You're welcome. Any other questions? Okay, no problem. So we stop here then. And tomorrow we continue with Hilchas Talmud Torah, Rambam. Okay, good night.